evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. Billy Inkslinger, Pay It Forward. Tonight I have a special guest. He's actually a friend of mine from the past. This is going to be about awareness and addiction. The drug addiction has taken many lives in Joe's life here. I want to welcome my friend Joe Fronk to the show, and today we're going to speak about how addictions affected his family and his life. Joe, thanks for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off when you were a young kid. You had some tragedies before you were even born, actually.
Yeah, my uncle actually passed away from heroin overdose, and back in '85, a couple years before I was born.
That's how far it goes way back.
It goes way back, yeah, my mother's family.
Side of the family.
Yeah.
So back in 1985, you lost your uncle to heroin, and then as you were growing up, addiction was a problem. I mean, your uncle, I knew, was a friend of mine, actually, in the past, and he struggled a little bit, and you actually lost his life, too.
Yeah, my Uncle Mike, my Uncle Paul, his younger brother, we died in 2000. He overdosed on alcohol, actually, had acute alcohol poisoning, and I was 12.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the beginning of the end for structure in my family. We kind of just...
Yeah, a lot of people sad, and then we get into self-medicating and stuff like that, so... I knew Michael. I had a lot of parties with him back in the day. Funny, crazy guy.
I've heard stories.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy.
He was.
But alcohol took his life.
Yeah, alcohol. He was. That was his thing to do. He just loved it, you know.
And then that's going to bring us into another whole issue. Michael was close to all you guys in the family.
Very close. Yeah, he was more of a brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Crazy, fun uncle is what he was.
It was interesting.
So that would bring us into one of the reasons we're here today. Addiction's affected this family so many times. It's absolutely heartbreaking. When Michael passed away, I'll let Joe take over, but when Michael passed away, it played a big role on his other brother. So we pick up on Jono.
Yeah, Jono was my older brother. There's three of us growing up. It was Jono and Jason and myself, and we were all very close. Like 4.5 years separated the three of us, so we were all...
The boys.
Yeah, we're all pretty close growing up, and... Jono and Michael were really close. They were like 15 years apart, so Jono was kind of like followed Michael everywhere he went. And when my Uncle Mike passed away, it was kind of the beginning of the end for Jono. He started doing heavier drugs, started, you know, self-medicating kind of to just ease the pain.
What happened to him? I mean, he just like went down and depressed.
Yeah, I mean, he was depressed. He didn't, you know, want to be around anybody. He locked himself in the room, and then, you know, simple things like marijuana started escalating to cocaine, escalating to pills, and that's what he was doing for many, many years. He was doing the Oxycontin 80s.
Then he couldn't afford them, right?
Then, of course, you know, those become too expensive, and, you know, you get addicted to them, and you can't afford it. You know, I never thought he would get to the point where he would start using needles because he hated needles, was afraid of them.
It's amazing how people can turn to needles, and they are so in fear to go to the doctors to get a shot. But it's how do you say it? Euphoric feelings.
Right.
They're talking
euphoric
about.
feeling, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, but why? But did anyone notice, like when he was growing up? I mean, everyone started to see him go through these changes. Anyone would ever think that he would go to a heroin?
No, we kind of noticed a lot, especially with the pills. The pills, he kind of changed. He was not the same, you know, lovable Jono that we all grew up with. I mean, the one thing Jono always had, he was always the center of attention. He was a comedian. He had all the friends. He got all the girls. You know, he was Mr. Popular. He's my idol. You know, I grew up idolizing him. We were very close. Like, I was close with my brother Jason, but I was close with my brother Jono in different ways. I was kind of like in the middle of both of them. I had my own, you know, separate ties with both of them. But Jono, me and him got along the best because we had similar interests in sports and the music. It was a lot of this, you know, very similar. So I looked at my best friend, my big brother, you know, my idol, and so I started seeing a lot of changes in him over the years. And
so would he run? Did you notice, like a lot of people I noticed and I talked to, they kind of run and hide and stay in the way back. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that they don't hear from you. Say, hey, what are you doing? You're
Right.
gonna end up dying. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna, you know, and they don't want to listen to you, so they back off.
There was many times I tried to get him help, and
did he ever go to a detox?
He went once or twice. Like, from what I remember when he first started, back when, I don't know, I'd say he was about 20, 21. Yeah. And then he kind of was just like, it didn't really work, and he kind of went away for a while and, you know, like I said, disappeared for everybody. And I tried to reach out to him. I couldn't get a hold of his numbers. I couldn't get a hold of him. And he'd pop back into your picture and stuff. Yeah. And we try to always plan to meet together and get together, and I tried,
That's impossible
You
to
know,
do with
the-
someone that's using.
the things with the users are if they don't want the help, no matter what you do,
You're
not
not
going to help them because they're going to need to want it first.
Yeah.
And then that was, I could start seeing things. Like I had a feeling like, this could be it. Like I might not see my brother. I have a feeling my brother is just he's gonna die on me.
He disappeared on you, and then he's come back every,
Yeah.
6 months?
Every 6 months when and then he needed money and then stuff
Oh,
like
that,
that.
and then you know. Then you know it's bad. No one wants to
Right,
give money, then he
right.
gets mad at you, and then he takes off.
Right.
And so his character and his demeanor and everything
Right.
changed. Probably
Completely.
getting moody, aggravated.
Yeah, very different than what he was.
Did
Who
he
I
ever-
know.
Did he ever tell you that he didn't have a problem? I'm okay. I'm
Yeah, I
all right,
mean,
bro?
yeah, it was the typical don't worry about it. I'm fine. Stay out of my business. I don't have a problem.
Yeah,
The
he wouldn't
typical
admit it.
answers that addicts give to try to diffuse it and try to defer the attention from them.
So he went into that, and after Michael failed, Michael passed away, and then
Right.
he went downhill and spiraled fast. How long do you think it took him to go downhill?
I say within 2 years. By the time he was 18, he was really getting into the pills, the OxyContin 80s and stuff
And
like
then he
that.
started using. Did you know if he started sniffing heroin or was he IV using?
Excuse me. I don't know if he sniffed it at all. He could have. I know he was deathly afraid. He hated needles, and so maybe he went to that and then realized it's
Then someone probably
maybe
introduced him.
needles was his last resort.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, so he got into that and he failed in about 2 years' time, and then tell us what else happened. I remember you telling me about Dad picking you up.
Yeah, the day
What happened?
the dad picked me up with the Michael,
Michael,
Michael
yeah,
thing.
Michael
No,
on the bus.
the
Yeah.
day Geronimo died, I was living with my mother up in Nashua,
Yeah.
and I got woken up by my mother's boyfriend, and he had said that my brother had passed away, and that I need to go be with my mom. Just woken up out of a sleep.
And you're like, what?
Yeah, and I kind of freaked out, and I ran downstairs and found my mother outside in the driveway, just screaming her head off, and it's just like surreal, I didn't believe it, and I kind of took it upon myself. I had to notify the family. There was no.
Yeah, your mother wouldn't be able to talk on the phone.
My mother couldn't talk to her, so I actually had to call my other brother and inform him, and it's probably the worst phone call you can ever make in your life. I don't recommend it to anybody. I think it just killed me to have to tell
Be the one.
our brother that our older brother's gone, and he didn't believe me, and I just wanted him to get to the house as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And
It was sad. So heroin did take your brother's life.
yes.
When did he pass away?
It was September 20th, 2009.
2009.
Yep.
Another one gone over heroin, and then so we covered Michael.
Yep.
We covered Jono. Now
Right.
we need to let these people know. I mean, addiction is bad,
Right.
and this family has had so many tragedies. It actually makes you sick. Now we have to move into mom remarried. Recently.
Mom and dad divorced
Yeah.
when I was 18. So, well, they didn't. They split up when I was 18. They divorced a couple years later.
Yep.
And my mom got involved with another guy and ended up having 2 more little kids. I ended up having I now have a soon-to-be 10-year-old sister and a soon-to-be 8-year-old brother.
Wow.
Excuse me, 9 and 7. 9 and 7. Yeah.
She's
I
got
don't
a
even know
handful.
anymore. Yeah.
I wouldn't start over.
There's
if I
just
was
too
her.
many. Yeah.
So, and then recently we just had another death in your family.
Right. Well, when she, got involved with her new boyfriend, he had a daughter, Katrina, and she was a few years younger than me, but we hit it off really well. She, we got along
Great.
good. We had, we like to joke around, have a good time, and I never had a sister, growing up.
Right.
I told her I was the
Boys,
baby.
yeah.
So she was kind of like a little sister, and I knew her from the time she was 16 years old.
Yeah.
Up until her death, and we didn't talk a lot throughout the last couple of years. I was living down in Mass and kind of doing my own thing.
Far away from her.
Right, and I would always talk to her from here and there, and I never really knew how bad she got into it until
Right.
towards the end, and
It's too late. You started finding out.
yeah, it was
you
way
used
too late, and I always told myself I'd never let it happen again because after my brother, that kind of just really
Destroyed you.
and I just didn't want to have to do it again.
So you lost You lost your stepsister recently.
Yes, back in November 4th, this past year,
This past,
2014, yeah.
She now was a heroin too?
Yeah,
Also
heroin overdose, yeah.
It took her life too.
Yeah, she was 24 years old. I was actually on the road when I received the
Call when
news.
you were working?
Yeah, I was working. I was down in the south working.
Sad.
And I actually had to, again, call my brother Jason once again and let him know again that we lost another sibling to,
That's a
to
horrible
this stuff.
call, man.
So, yeah,
That's
it's
unbelievable.
been pretty rough.
The thing is, I mean, you've lost, what do we got? 1, 2, 3.
Three
Three
family
family members.
members.
Now, I want to tell them, I mean, and this is no exaggeration, his entire generation is being wiped out from heroin. How many people are you guessing around now?
I mean, I'd say if I had to put a round number to it, if we're just talking heroin, I'd
Just
say
probably heroin.
just talking heroin, I'd say 25 to 30 in the
That's
last,
crazy.
8 years of friends or
25,
people
it's
that I had known at some point.
Becoming like a weekly thing. He's going to a funeral every other week to someone. You'd think that these people would stop doing it because of,
Right.
seeing people pass away.
Right,
But
right.
it's just, I don't understand it. I mean, that's why we had today awareness. If you could change anything or you could do something today to help this killer epidemic, what do you think it would be?
Man.
What could you say to it? I mean, it's affected your family so bad. I mean, is there anything that comes to mind?
I don't even know where to start. I mean, I'd just like to I'd like to talk to the dealers and,
They're murderers.
they are. And it's
They're
like,
murderers.
how can you live with yourself knowing you're selling something to someone that's most likely going to kill them?
Yeah.
Like, this is probably going to kill them. And
You're making yourself rich over it.
You're just looking to make that quick buck. And now, how many lives have you destroyed and
I know.
taken?
Right.
And I wish I could, go out there and talk to him, but I don't know if I could even talk to him. I think,
No,
I'd be sick to my stomach. Even.
Yeah, just looking at him,
Yeah.
knowing. But I mean, the thing is, we got to raise awareness. We got to be. That's why I want you here today. I mean, we got to
Right.
raise awareness and let people know. We're losing. You got 30 friends that died. You've lost 2 members of your family in the past few years.
Yeah, my brother and sister, my immediate family.
And every day we're on the computers and we're on Facebook. It's
Right.
Every day another one's gone.
It's-
Another one's gone. Another one's gone.
It's crazy.
How many people are going to die before someone steps up and does something? Is what I want to know.
Honestly, I think the numbers is endless at this point. I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. And we've tried. I mean, we have the rallies, and
Yeah.
we have petitions, and we call the politicians, and
No one's doing that.
No
It's like
one's
red
answering.
tape. It's
Right.
like red tape. We need detox beds. This past few days, this week, today actually is St. Patty's Day, 2015. We're doing the show. We couldn't wear green because we're going to disappear. But
I look like a leprechaun enough.
I know, right? My little leprechaun buddy here. But we're trying to do the best we can do, but there's so much red tape with the new governors
Right.
and the new things. I think we all need to start early and educate the kids in the schools, in the middle schools, before they get to the high school.
Right, and I feel like some parents think that, why should I subject my kid to that, and my kid's not going to fall into that. Well,
I've thought of that too.
my parents thought the same thing. My friends' parents who passed away, they thought the same thing. My parents aren't going to,
Yeah. Oh, not my child.
they're not my child. So no, we do need to educate kids at a young age. Way more than I never had an education like that. That was not in my
I
school.
never did in school, and heroin's been around for millions of
Right.
years.
I mean, when I was in
come on.
when I was in high school, I could go to the locker 2 feet down from me and get whatever I wanted. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. They're saying heroin's easier to get than cigarettes.
I'm not surprised.
It's crazy, but I mean,
It's cheaper.
I think we need to start spreading awareness in the school systems, the younger kids. Even if we can't get in the school systems, we need to start doing rallies and meetings and public meetings with parents to come up and get some guest speakers to talk in town halls and say, look, we can't go in the schools to teach you, so let's show you some scenarios and let's teach you how many people are really dying. If you don't want your children to do these drugs, it's up to you as a parent to go
Right,
home.
right.
Because people say, you can't show needles and blood and guts and people dead to my children in school. So how about we educate the parents and then they can go home and teach their kids?
Right, but
It's their choice.
But can you trust the parents to do that?
No, but at least we say we tried.
We tried, right.
Then we can get into the school system if they can, but we got to start somewhere.
Right.
And the other thing is like addiction runs in your family, of course, and I want
Yeah.
everybody to know with all these deaths that Joe has had happened to him and his family, like Michael, his uncle, passed away, so his brother failed, and brother started self-medicating, drinking, smoking, pills. Then he moved to heroin and he lost his life. I want you all to know that this man right here was doing the same thing with alcohol. When his brother passed away, it was the final straw, and he was taking a downward spiral. And you're working on 9 months clean?
I just hit 9 months sober, yeah.
He's 9 months sober this past week, and I want to congratulate him because he really deserves it, because he could be where his brother and sister and uncle are right now today. So I want to congratulate you, and I'm very proud of you.
I appreciate that.
And we need to keep going.
Yeah,
We need to share awareness.
I'm not stopping, and yeah, I just want everybody to know that just because I was addicted to alcohol, it could easily turn to something else. You know?
Always an addictive behavior.
Right.
You could be addicted to scratch tickets. It
Right.
doesn't matter. But the thing is, we're here today, St. Patty's Day 2015. I brought my friend Joe here. He's buried so many of his friends, his family. It's wiping out the world, and something needs to be done about it. Something really does. And we need to start raising awareness and getting younger kids, 10, 11, 12 years
Right.
old, before they get into the high schools, I
Right.
think. The statistics kind of show around 11, 12 years old, they start with their, look at this, we can't even do a show. Hello, my life. The statistics show around 12, 13 years old, they start experimenting.
Oh yeah, I was 12 years old when I started experimenting with alcohol.
You were?
Yeah, it was right after my uncle Mike passed away.
Yep.
And I really started to start drinking then.
Yep.
Like I said, when he had passed in 2000, it was kind of the beginning and the end of structure, in my family and my household. It was kind of just a free-for-all at that point.
I know. I mean, you see the tragedies that happen in your family, it'd be a free-for-all for me, too.
So yeah, I'm not surprised that these kids are starting at such a young age.
Well, no, you know what it is, because we've both been there. We go out to a party, everyone's drinking and wants to be cool, and everyone's smoking marijuana, and everyone's doing this and that. And then you don't want to be an outcast, and people start to pressure you. We need to
peer
stop
pressure.
that.
Right.
Peer pressure is what's killing a lot of people, because it starts off with beer, then smoking pot,
Cigarettes,
then drinking,
and then
butts, then you're going into heroin, pills, doing crack, coke, crystal meth, anything. We need to educate these kids at a younger age, because if we let them know how dangerous and severe it is before they get to actually test it, they're going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. My friend buried 30 of his friends, and my cousin's sister's brother died. We need to raise awareness. We need to talk about it more in school.
I agree. I think these kids nowadays, they're finding anything. I mean, I was hearing stories of kids smoking potpourri.
Yeah, it's this new thing. K2 or something it's called.
And it's
Burning brain cells.
And it's like, where do you come up with this idea? Like, how do you even know about these things?
It's unbelievable. But the thing is today's day and age, heroin is wiping out an entire generation. I mean, Joe knows about 30 people approximately, and that's not an overwhelming amount of guesses. That's pretty much legit if we started naming them.
I don't want to go through names, but
right, exactly.
I probably could.
You can name them. I mean, that's the thing. But we need to raise awareness today. We need to let people know that heroin is wiping out the world. It has greatly affected him, and he actually kind of stopped that tornado effect with the family by this drinking and becoming clean and sober.
Well, I was actually 5 months. I had just hit 5 months sober when I heard about my sister, and I mean,
You made it through that too?
I wanted to go right to a bar and
just drink,
drink my sorrows away. And
yeah, but that's self-medication.
Right, and I realized
Self-medicine.
that it's just
Medicating.
if I do that, it's just gonna go right back to the cycle I was in before. I got into back in March. This actually a year ago, probably right around today, I got into a really bad car accident from drinking and driving, and
You're lucky.
I lucked out. I walked away from it with no repercussions, no injuries, and
Amazing.
I should have died in that. I mean, I hit a telephone pole doing 45 miles an hour and woke up at my, was knocked out conscious.
Wow. But you're sober and clean today, 9 months this week.
Yep.
And I'm glad, and I want to thank you for coming on the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And we need to raise awareness. And please check us out on Heroin is Killing My Town on Facebook. Click like and follow us. And you can also reach me at billyinklinger@gmail.com. If you'd like to come on and do a show, good stories or bad stories, we need to raise awareness and we need to work together. Thank you very much, and happy St. Patty's Day, everybody.